The rain fell hard that night. It was the kind of storm that made people stay home. Thunder shook the windows of Maya's small apartment. She was 25 years old and lived alone on the edge of town. The apartment was not fancy, but it was clean and warm. Maya had just made hot tea and was about to sit down with her book when she heard a knock at the door. Maya was not the type to open her door at night. She worked 2 jobs to pay her bills. During the day, she worked at the town library. In the evenings, she served coffee at the local cafe. She was tired most days, but she was proud that she could take care of herself. She had learned to be careful. Living alone meant being smart about safety. The knocking came again, louder this time. Maya put down her tea and walked to the door. She looked through the peephole and saw a man. He was soaked from the rain. His dark hair was stuck to his face. His clothes were wet through. He looked cold and lost. Something about the way he stood there made Maya pause. He did not look dangerous. He looked like he needed help. Maya took a deep breath and opened the door a little. "Can I help you?" she asked. Her voice was firm, but not unkind. The man looked up. His eyes were deep brown and filled with a mix of hope and shame. "I'm sorry to bother you," he said. His voice was soft and polite. "My car broke down a mile back. My phone is dead. I just need to use a phone to call for help." Maya looked out past him. The rain was coming down in sheets now. Lightning lit up the sky. She could see no car on the road nearby. "You walked a mile in this storm?" she asked. The man nodded. Water dripped from his chin. He was shivering. Maya had always trusted her gut feelings about people. Her mother had taught her that. Her gut told her this man was in real trouble. She opened the door wider. "Come in," she said. "You can use my phone. And you should dry off." Relief washed over the man's face. "Thank you," he said as he stepped inside. "My name is Elijah." "I'm Maya," she said. She gave him a towel from her small bathroom. "You can sit by the heater. I'll make you some tea." Elijah sat down carefully, trying not to get her chair too wet. He looked around the small apartment. It was simple but homey. Books filled a small shelf. A plant sat in the window. A colorful blanket was thrown over the couch. Maya brought him tea in her second-best mug. "So where were you heading before your car broke down?" she asked. Elijah took a sip of tea before answering. "Nowhere specific," he said. His eyes did not meet hers. "Just driving." Maya knew there was more to the story. Who drives nowhere in a storm? But she did not push. Everyone had their secrets. She had her own. "You can call for help now," she said, handing him her phone. Elijah stared at the phone for a long moment. Then he looked up at her. "The truth is, there's no one to call," he said. His voice was low. "I left home. I don't want to go back. I was just driving until I figured out what to do next." Maya should have felt worried. A stranger with no place to go was sitting in her living room. But instead, she felt a strange connection. She had once run away too, years ago. She knew what it was like to feel lost. "The storm is getting worse," she said. "You can sleep on my couch tonight. Just for tonight. Then we can figure something out tomorrow." "Why would you help me?" Elijah asked. "You don't know me." Maya smiled slightly. "Sometimes people just need shelter from the storm," she said. "Everyone deserves that much." Neither of them knew it then, but that simple act of kindness would change both their lives forever. By letting a stranger in from the rain, Maya had opened the door to a future she could never have imagined. Morning came with clear skies. The storm had passed but left its mark. Tree branches were down in the street. Puddles filled the potholes on the road. Maya woke up early as she always did. For a moment, she forgot about her guest. Then she heard a sound in her kitchen. Elijah was at her small stove. He had found eggs and bread. The smell of coffee filled the apartment. He turned when he heard her. "Hope you don't mind," he said. "I wanted to thank you for letting me stay." Maya was surprised. Most people took kindness and gave nothing back. But here was this stranger making her breakfast in her own kitchen. She sat at her small table and watched him work. "You cook," she said. It was not a question. "I had to learn," Elijah said. He did not explain more. He put a plate in front of her. The eggs were perfect. The toast was just right. The coffee was strong, the way she liked it. "This is good," Maya said after her first bite. "Really good." Elijah smiled for the first time since she had met him. His smile changed his whole face. He looked younger, less worried. Maya felt something stir inside her. She pushed the feeling away. He was a stranger who would soon leave. "What will you do now?" Maya asked. "The storm is over." Elijah's smile faded. He looked out the window at the blue sky. "I don't know," he said. "I need to find a place to stay. A job." Maya should have wished him well and sent him on his way. That was the smart thing to do. But she remembered his cooking, and she had a problem of her own. "My sink has been leaking for weeks," she said. "The super won't fix it. Can you take a look before you go?" Elijah nodded. After breakfast, he looked under her sink. His hands were sure and quick. In 20 minutes, the leak was fixed. Maya was impressed. "You're good with your hands," she said. "I like fixing things," Elijah said. "Makes me feel useful." Maya had an idea, a risky one. "My neighbor Mrs. Wilson needs her fence fixed," she said. "And Mr. Lee on the first floor has a broken porch step. They would pay you." "You're trying to find me work?" Elijah asked. He looked confused. "You need money," Maya said simply. "They need help, and I think you're not a bad person." "You don't know that," Elijah said, but he did not say no. By the end of the day, Elijah had fixed Mrs. Wilson's fence. She had paid him and told all her friends. By the end of the week, Elijah had 5 more jobs. Maya let him sleep on her couch each night. She told herself it was just until he had enough money to get his own place. 2 weeks passed this way. Elijah fixed things all day. In the evenings, he cooked for Maya. She found she liked coming home to a hot meal and someone to talk to. They talked about small things, books she liked, places he had seen. They did not talk about their pasts. Maya learned that Elijah liked to read history books. He knew about stars and could name the ones they saw from her small balcony. He was smart but never made her feel less smart. She found herself looking forward to their evening talks. Elijah learned that Maya loved music but could not play any instrument. She liked to draw but never showed anyone her work. She dreamed of traveling but had never left the state. She was brave in big ways but scared of spiders. They were 2 strangers becoming less strange to each other. 2 people with secrets finding comfort in simple days. But neither of them talked about how long this would last. Neither wanted to break the peaceful feeling they had found. Then one day, a sleek black car pulled up outside Maya's apartment building. A man in a suit got out and looked around, and everything changed. Maya watched from her window as the man in the suit looked around. He was tall with gray hair and a stiff walk. He checked a phone in his hand, then looked up at her building. Something about him made Maya nervous. She stepped back from the window. "Elijah," she called. "Someone is here. I think he might be looking for you." Elijah was fixing a chair leg in the living room. He stood up and looked out the window. His face went pale. He stepped back quickly, just as Maya had done. "That's George," he said in a low voice. "He works for my family." This was the first time Elijah had mentioned his family. Maya looked at him with new eyes. "What kind of family sent men in suits to find you? Are you in some kind of trouble?" she asked. Her heart beat faster. Had she been helping someone dangerous all this time? Elijah shook his head. "Not trouble like you think," he said. He sat down on the couch and put his head in his hands. "I should have told you the truth from the start." Maya sat across from him. Outside, the man called George was now at the building entrance. "Tell me now," she said. Elijah took a deep breath. "My full name is Elijah Hartwell," he said. He washed her face to see if she knew the name. Maya blinked. Everyone knew the Hartwell name. Hartwell Industries made computers, phones, and other tech that people used every day. They were one of the richest families in the country. "You're that Hartwell?" she asked. She could not keep the shock from her voice. Elijah nodded. "My father started the company. He died 3 months ago. Heart attack at his desk." His voice was flat, but Maya could hear the pain under his words. "I'm sorry," she said. And she was. Losing a parent was hard, no matter how rich you were. "After he died, everyone wanted me to take his place." Elijah continued, "Run the company. Be just like him. But my father," he paused. "My father was not a happy man. The company was his whole life. He missed my games, my school events. He was always working, always stressed. In the end, it killed him." Maya began to understand. "So you ran away." "I left," Elijah corrected. "I needed time to think, to decide if I wanted that life." He looked around her small apartment. "These past weeks have been the first time I've been just a normal person. Not a Hartwell, just Elijah." There was a knock at the door. Maya and Elijah both jumped. They knew who it was. "Should I answer it?" Maya asked. Elijah stood up. "I'll do it," he said. "I can't hide forever." He opened the door. George stood there, looking serious but relieved. "Mr. Hartwell," he said, "your mother has been very worried." "How did you find me?" Elijah asked. "You used your credit card at the hardware store down the street," George said. "We've been tracking all your cards." Maya felt a chill. They had been watching him all along. George looked past Elijah at Maya. His eyes were cold as he studied her. "Is this where you've been staying?" he asked. His tone made it clear what he thought of her apartment. "This is Maya," Elijah said firmly. "She helped me when I needed it." George nodded stiffly to her. "Miss," he said. Then he turned back to Elijah. "The car is waiting. Your mother needs to speak with you. There are decisions that can't wait any longer." Maya felt her heart sink. This was it. Elijah would go back to his rich life. Their time together was over. She had known all along he didn't belong in her world. Elijah looked back at her, his eyes troubled. Then he surprised her. "I need a few minutes," he told George. "Wait in the car." George frowned, but nodded. "5 minutes," he said. He left, closing the door behind him. Elijah turned to face Maya. "Come with me," he said. Maya stared at Elijah in shock. "Come with you? Where?" "To meet my mother," Elijah said. His eyes were serious. "I want her to meet the person who helped me when I needed it most." Maya shook her head. "I can't just leave. I have work today. At the library." "Call in sick," Elijah said. "Just this once." Maya never called in sick. She needed every hour of pay she could get. But the look in Elijah's eyes made her pause. He needed her, just as he had needed shelter that first night. "Okay," she said at last. "Let me change my clothes." She went to her room and looked at her small closet. What did you wear to meet one of the richest women in the country? She chose her best dress, the blue one she wore for job interviews. It was simple but clean. She put her hair up and added small earrings. It was the best she could do. When she came out, Elijah smiled. "You look nice," he said, "but you didn't need to dress up." They walked out to the waiting car. George opened the door for them. His face showed no feeling when Maya got in, but she felt his eyes on her. The car was the nicest she had ever been in. The seats were soft leather. It was cool inside despite the warm day. They drove in silence for a while. Maya watched the city pass by outside the window. Soon they left the city behind. They drove through green hills and past large houses set back from the road. The houses got bigger and the spaces between them got wider. Finally, they turned down a long driveway lined with tall trees. At the end stood a house bigger than any Maya had ever seen. It was made of stone with many windows that caught the sunlight. Gardens spread out around it with flowers of every color. "This is where you grew up?" Maya asked in a quiet voice. Elijah nodded. "This is the Hartwell family home," he said. "Been in our family for 4 generations." The car stopped at the front steps. A woman stood waiting for them. She was tall and thin with silver hair cut short around her face. She wore simple clothes, but Maya could tell they were expensive. She had Elijah's eyes. "Elijah," she said as they got out of the car. Her voice was warm but tired. "Mother," Elijah said. He hugged her stiffly. Then he turned to Maya. "This is Maya Johnson. She gave me a place to stay when I needed one." Mrs. Hartwell looked at Maya with sharp eyes. Maya felt small under that look. She wondered what this rich woman saw when she looked at her. The poor girl from the wrong side of town. Someone trying to get money from her son. "Thank you for looking after my son," Mrs. Hartwell said at last. Her voice was polite but cool. Not many would take in a stranger these days. "He fixed my sink," Maya said. She didn't know why she said it. She just wanted Mrs. Hartwell to know that Elijah had not just taken from her. Something like surprise crossed Mrs. Hartwell's face. Then she almost smiled. "Did he? Well, come inside, both of you. We have much to talk about." The inside of the house was even more amazing than the outside. The front hall was bigger than Maya's whole apartment. Paintings hung on the walls. A grand staircase rose up to the second floor. Everything gleamed with polish and care. Mrs. Hartwell led them to a sunny room at the back of the house. It had big windows that looked out over the gardens. They sat down in chairs that were old but beautiful. "Now, Elijah," Mrs. Hartwell said, "the board is meeting tomorrow. They expect you to be there, to take your father's place." Her voice was firm. Maya watched Elijah's face. She saw the same trapped look she had seen when he first talked about his father. "And if I don't want to?" Elijah asked. His voice was quiet but strong. Mrs. Hartwell's face grew sad. "Then we may lose control of the company your father built. Is that what you want?" The room grew quiet after Mrs. Hartwell's question. Maya felt like she should not be there for this family talk. She looked down at her hands in her lap. But then Elijah spoke. "What my father built was important," Elijah said, "but look what it cost him. His health, his happiness, his time with his family." He looked straight at his mother. "Can you tell me he was happy in those last years?" Mrs. Hartwell's face softened. "No," she said. "He was not happy, but he was proud of what he built. He wanted you to carry it on." "Maybe there's another way," Elijah said. "A way that won't eat me alive like it did him." Mrs. Hartwell looked tired. "The board meeting is tomorrow at 10. You have until then to decide." She turned to Maya, as if just remembering she was there. "You are welcome to stay the night, Miss Johnson. We have plenty of room." Maya wanted to say no. She felt out of place in this big house, but she also did not want to leave Elijah alone with such a big choice to make. "Thank you," she said. Mrs. Hartwell stood up. "I'll have Anna show you to a guest room. Dinner is at 7. After she left, Elijah let out a long breath. "I'm sorry to drag you into this," he said to Maya. "Why did you bring me here?" Maya asked. It was the question that had been in her mind since they left her apartment. Elijah thought for a moment. "Because you see me," he said simply. "Not my name or my money. Just me. I needed that today." A woman named Anna showed Maya to a guest room. It was bigger than her whole apartment, with its own bathroom that had a tub Maya could almost swim in. Anna brought her fresh towels and asked if she needed anything else. Maya just shook her head, too amazed to speak. After Anna left, Maya looked around the room. Fine art hung on the walls. The bed was big enough for 3 people. Through the window she could see gardens, and in the distance, a small lake. This was Elijah's world, so different from hers. There was a knock at the door. Maya opened it to find Elijah. "I want to show you something," he said. "Something no one else has seen." Maya followed him down long halls and out a side door of the house. They walked along a stone path through tall trees. The air smelled sweet from flowers. Birds sang in the branches above them. "Where are we going?" Maya asked. "You'll see," Elijah said. After 10 minutes of walking, they came to a small building made of wood and stone. It looked old but well cared for. Elijah took a key from his pocket and opened the door. Inside was one large room filled with light from many windows. Art supplies were everywhere. Paints and brushes. Clay. A large table covered in paper and pens. Finished paintings hung on some walls. Others leaned against the walls, turned to face away. "What is this place?" Maya asked in wonder. "My studio," Elijah said. "I built it when I was 16. My father thought I was just going through a phase. But this," he spread his arms wide, "this is what I love. Creating things. Making beauty." Maya walked around the room. She stopped in front of a painting that showed the lake she had seen from her window. It was beautiful, full of light and feeling. "You're an artist," she said. She looked at him with new eyes. "A real artist." Elijah nodded. "I studied art in college before my father made me switch to business. I still come here whenever I can. It's the one place I feel truly myself." He turned over one of the paintings that faced the wall. It showed a city at night, lights glowing in windows. It made Maya feel both sad and hopeful at the same time. "These are really good," she said. And she meant it. "Why don't you show them to anyone?" Elijah's face grew serious. "My father said art was fine as a hobby, but not a real job. Not for a Hartwell." He looked around the studio. "No one else has ever been in here. Not even my mother." Maya walked around the studio, looking at all the paintings. Each one showed real talent. She stopped at one that showed a small apartment much like her own. The painting caught the way sunlight fell through a window onto a simple table. It made the plain room look beautiful. "When did you paint this?" she asked. "Last week," Elijah said. "After I fixed Mrs. Wilson's fence, I came back here late at night. I couldn't stop thinking about your apartment. How it felt more like a home than this big house ever did." Maya felt something warm in her chest. He had seen beauty in her simple home. "What will you do?" she asked. "About the company, I mean." Elijah sighed. He sat on a stool near the window. Light fell across his face, making him look older, more serious. "If I don't take over, my uncle will," he said. "He's always wanted control. He would change everything my father built. Fire people who have worked there for years. Turn it into something my father would hate." "So you have to do it," Maya said. It wasn't a question. "I think I do," Elijah said. "At least for now." He looked out the window at the trees. "But I don't want to do it like my father did. I don't want to lose myself." Maya thought about this. She walked to where he sat and put her hand on his arm. "Then don't," she said simply. "Find a new way." Elijah looked at her. Something changed in his eyes. "Maybe I could," he said. He stood up suddenly. "Come on. I want to show you something else." They left the studio and walked further into the woods. Soon they came to the small lake Maya had seen from her window. A wooden dock stretched out over the water. They walked to the end and sat with their feet hanging over the edge. "I used to come here to think when I was a kid," Elijah said. "When things got hard at school or with my father." "It's peaceful," Maya said. The water was clear. She could see fish swimming below. "What about you?" Elijah asked. "You know all about me now, but I know almost nothing about you. Where is your family?" Maya looked out across the water. She rarely talked about her past, but Elijah had shared his secrets with her. She could share hers. "My mother died when I was 18, she said. "Cancer. My father left when I was little. I never knew him." "I'm sorry," Elijah said, and she could tell he meant it. "After Mom died, I had to drop out of college. I couldn't afford it anymore. I got the job at the library because I love books. They let me read when it's quiet." She smiled a little. "That's my big dream. To go back to school someday. To finish my degree in education. To teach kids who need a good teacher. Elijah was quiet for a long time. Then he said, I could help you. With money for school. Maya shook her head quickly. No, that's not why I told you. I'm not asking for anything. I know you're not, Elijah said. That's why I want to help. The sun was starting to set. The water turned gold and pink with the light. We should head back, Maya said. Your mother said dinner is at 7. They walked back to the house in comfortable silence. Maya thought about everything she had learned today. About Elijah. About his two worlds. About the choice he had to make. When they reached the house, Elijah stopped her before they went inside. Thank you, he said. For what? Maya asked. For seeing me, he said. The real me. Not just the Hartwell name. Before Maya could answer, the door opened. George stood there. Mr. Hartwell, he said. His voice was stiff. Your uncle has arrived for dinner. He is waiting to speak with you. Elijah's face hardened. My uncle? My mother didn't say he was coming. He arrived unexpectedly, sir, George said. He says it's urgent. About tomorrow's board meeting. Dinner at the Hartwell house was nothing like the simple meals Maya and Elijah had shared in her apartment. The dining room was huge with a long table that could seat 20 people. Tonight, only 5 places were set. Mrs. Hartwell sat at one end. Elijah sat at the other. Maya sat on one side. Across from her sat 2 men. One was George, who ate quietly and said little. The other was Elijah's uncle, Richard Hartwell. He was a tall man with cold eyes and a loud voice. He did not look like Elijah or Mrs. Hartwell. He had come with news about the board meeting. Half the board is ready to vote me in as CEO, Richard said as he cut his steak. They're tired of waiting for you to step up, Elijah. Elijah's face stayed calm, but Maya could see his hand grip his fork tighter. Is that so, Uncle? He said. It's not too late, Richard said. If you announce tomorrow that you're taking over, they'll back you. You're Robert's son, after all. He took a drink of his wine. Though God knows why Robert thought you were ready for this, you've never shown any real interest in the business. Mrs. Hartwell spoke up. That's enough, Richard. Elijah will make his own choice. Richard's eyes landed on Maya. And who might this be? He asked. His smile did not reach his eyes. This is Maya Johnson, Elijah said. A friend of mine. Richard studied her. A friend. I see. The way he said it made Maya feel small. Miss Johnson was kind enough to help Elijah when he needed it, Mrs. Hartwell said. Her voice was cool but firm. How nice, Richard said. He turned back to Elijah. Well, nephew, time is running out. By this time tomorrow, either you'll be CEO of Hartwell Industries, or I will. After dinner, Elijah walked Maya back to her guest room. He looked tired and worried. I'm sorry about my uncle, he said. He's always been like that. It's fine, Maya said. But what will you do tomorrow? Elijah leaned against the wall. I don't know yet. I need to think. He started to walk away, then stopped. Maya, whatever happens, thank you for coming here with me. Maya watched him walk down the hall. She felt worried for him. She went into her room and tried to sleep, but she couldn't. This wasn't her world. These weren't her problems. But she cared about what happened to Elijah. In the middle of the night, Maya got up. She put on her clothes and quietly left her room. She wasn't sure where she was going until she found herself outside, walking toward Elijah's studio. She thought he might be there. The studio was dark. Elijah wasn't there. Maya was about to leave when she heard voices coming from near the lake. She walked quietly through the trees until she could see the dock. 2 people stood there in the moonlight, Elijah and his mother. Maya stayed hidden behind a tree. She knew she should go back to the house, but something made her stay and listen. Your father wanted so much for you, Mrs. Hartwell was saying. But he also wanted you to be happy. He just didn't know how to say it. I never felt like I could talk to him, Elijah said, about what I really wanted. And what do you want, Elijah? His mother asked. Truly. Elijah was quiet for a long time. I want to make a difference, he said at last, but not the way Father did, not by working myself to death in an office. Mrs. Hartwell sighed. Your father built something amazing, but he lost sight of why he built it. In the end, he served the company instead of the company serving him. I don't want that life, Elijah said, but I also don't want Uncle Richard to take over and ruin everything. Then find a third way, his mother said. You're smarter than Richard, and you have something he doesn't. What's that? Elijah asked. A heart, she said simply. She touched his face gently. Whatever you decide tomorrow, I'll support you. Your father would too, if he were here. They hugged, and then Mrs. Hartwell walked back toward the house. Maya quickly moved deeper into the shadows so she wouldn't be seen. After Mrs. Hartwell was gone, Elijah stayed on the dock, looking out at the water. Maya knew she should go back to her room. This was a private moment, but her foot stepped on a twig, and it snapped loudly in the quiet night. Elijah turned quickly. Who's there? He called. Maya stepped out from the trees. It's just me, she said. I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep. Elijah relaxed. Come here, he said, patting the dock beside him. Maya sat down next to him. The moon made a path of light across the dark water. I think I know what I'm going to do tomorrow, Elijah said. The next morning came too quickly. Maya woke up to find a new dress laid out for her. It was simple but clearly expensive. A note from Mrs. Hartwell said it was for the board meeting. Maya put it on, surprised that it fit perfectly. Breakfast was quiet. Richard was not there. Mrs. Hartwell sipped her tea and read the newspaper. Elijah ate little. He seemed lost in thought. At 9:30, George brought the car around. They drove to the city, to a tall glass building with the Hartwell name on it. Maya had passed this building many times, but had never been inside. Now she walked through the front doors with Elijah and his mother. People stopped and stared as they walked by. Everyone seemed to know who Elijah was. They rode an elevator to the top floor. There, a large room waited with a long table. Men and women in business clothes sat around it. They all stood when Elijah entered. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, Mrs. Hartwell said, My son, Elijah Hartwell. Maya tried to stay back by the door, but Elijah took her hand and led her to a seat next to his at the head of the table. People looked at her with curious eyes. Richard sat halfway down the table. He looked angry to see Elijah. Nephew, he said, we didn't think you would come. I'm full of surprises, Uncle, Elijah said. His voice was calm but strong. An old man at the far end of the table spoke up. Mrs. Hartwell has informed us that you wish to address the board, Elijah. We're eager to hear what you have to say. Elijah stood up. He looked different today, confident, sure of himself. He wore a suit that fit him perfectly. He looked like someone used to power. 3 months ago, my father died, Elijah began. He built this company from nothing, made it what it is today, and he wanted me to carry on his work. He paused. But my father paid a high price for success. His health, his happiness, his time with his family. People shifted in their seats, uncomfortable with this truth. I will not pay that same price, Elijah continued, but I will not walk away from my father's legacy either. Richard leaned forward. What exactly are you saying, Elijah? I'm saying I will accept the position of CEO, Elijah said. People around the table nodded. Richard's face fell. But on my terms. Now people looked confused. Hartwell Industries has always been about technology, about making things that help people live better lives. But somewhere along the way, we forgot that our company should also help our employees live better lives. Elijah looked around the table. That changes today. For the next 20 minutes, Elijah laid out his plan. Shorter work weeks, better family leave, more focus on products that truly helped people, not just made money, and a new division of the company focused on arts and education. Art saved my life, Elijah said. It gave me a place to be myself when I felt lost. Every child deserves that chance. Some board members looked excited. Others looked worried. Richard looked furious. This is business, not charity, Richard said. These changes will cost millions. And make us millions, Elijah countered. Happy employees work better. Products that help people sell better. And using some of our wealth to improve education creates a better world for everyone, including us. An older woman with silver hair spoke up. Robert always said you had a different way of seeing things, Elijah. He worried about it. But I think he would be proud of what you're proposing today. Others began to nod, even some who had looked worried before. All in favor of appointing Elijah Hartwell as CEO under the terms he has outlined. Mrs. Hartwell asked. Hands went up around the table. Not all, but most. Richard did not raise his hand. He stood up and walked out without a word. The motion passes, Mrs. Hartwell said. She smiled at her son. People stood and came to shake Elijah's hand, to congratulate him. Maya watched from her seat, amazed at the change in him. This was yet another Elijah she hadn't seen before. A leader, strong but kind, like his father might have been, but with his own vision. When the room had cleared except for Elijah, his mother, and Maya, Mrs. Hartwell hugged her son. Your father would be proud, she said. Different from him, but proud. I hope so, Elijah said. Mrs. Hartwell turned to Maya. And I think we have you to thank, in part. You helped my son find his way. Maya shook her head. He found his own way. I just gave him a place to think. Mrs. Hartwell smiled. Sometimes that's the greatest gift we can give someone. She looked at her watch. I had a lunch meeting. Will you both be at the house for dinner? Elijah looked at Maya. Actually, I have other plans, he said. If that's okay. After the board meeting, Elijah took Maya to lunch at a small cafe far from the Hartwell building. It was the kind of place Maya would go, not a fancy restaurant. They sat at a corner table and ordered sandwiches. So you're a CEO now, Maya said. It still seemed hard to believe. I am, Elijah said. But I'm going to do it differently. No 60-hour weeks. No missing life because of work. He smiled at her. And I have something I want to ask you. Maya felt nervous suddenly. What is it? I want to turn the estate into something more, Elijah said. Not just a home for me and my mother. I want to open it up. Make my studio bigger. Create a place where artists can come to work, where kids can learn art. A place that brings beauty into the world. Maya smiled. That sounds wonderful. I want you to run it, Elijah said. Maya nearly choked on her water. What? Me? I don't know anything about art centers or whatever this would be. But you know about teaching. You said that was your dream. To teach kids who need a good teacher. Elijah leaned forward. You could finish your degree while helping me plan it. Then be the director when it opens. Maya shook her head. Elijah, that's crazy. I'm not qualified for something like that. You're exactly what I need, Elijah said. Someone who sees the real value of things, not the price tag or the name, but what matters underneath. He took her hand across the table. Will you at least think about it? Maya looked at their hands together, his so used to wealth and power. Hers that had worked hard for everything she had. Yet somehow they fit. Okay, she said. I'll think about it. 6 months passed. Maya did think about Elijah's offer. In the end, she said yes, but with conditions. She would finish her degree first. She would start as a teacher at the new center, not the director. She would earn her way up. Elijah agreed to all her terms. The Hartwell Creative Center opened a year after that stormy night when Maya had first opened her door to Elijah. The main building was Elijah's old studio, now much bigger. Other small buildings dotted the grounds. Places where artists could live and work. classrooms where children came to learn, a gallery where everyone could show their art. Maya taught 3 days a week and studied 2 days. She lived in a small house on the estate grounds, not in the main house. She wanted her own space. Elijah respected that. Elijah split his time between the company offices and the center. He was keeping his promise to work differently than his father had. 3 days at the office, 2 days at the center, where he still found time to paint. His mother said she had never seen him happier. On the 1-year anniversary of the center's opening, Maya walked with Elijah around the grounds. Children's artwork hung in the trees. Music played from one of the studios. People laughed and talked as they moved between buildings. They stopped at the lake, at the end of the dock where they had talked that night before the board meeting. "Did you ever imagine this?" Maya asked, looking back at what they had built together. "Never," Elijah said. "I thought I had 2 choices, be like my father or run away from everything. You helped me see there was another way. And you helped me achieve my dream of teaching." Maya said, "I'd say we're even." Elijah shook his head. "Not quite." He took her hand. "You gave me shelter when I was lost and alone. You opened your door to a stranger. And you gave me a kingdom you'd never shown anyone." Maya finished. "Your art, your dreams, this place." "Not just that," Elijah said. He looked into her eyes. "You showed me how to open my heart again. That's a kind of shelter too." Maya smiled. "I guess we've both given each other gifts we didn't expect." The sun was setting over the lake, turning the water to gold. From behind them came the sounds of the center, full of life and creativity. Children laughed. Someone played a guitar. An old woman called out to her painting class. "What happens next?" Maya asked. Elijah looked at the kingdom they had built together, not of wealth or power, but of art and learning, of second chances and new beginnings. "I don't know," he said honestly, "but whatever it is, I hope we face it together." Maya squeezed his hand. "I'd like that," she said. They stood there as the sun set, 2 people from different worlds who had found each other in a storm, who had seen past all the things that should have kept them apart, who had built something neither could have created alone. A black girl who had given shelter to a stranger, a wealthy heir who had shared his hidden kingdom. 2 souls who had found in each other exactly what they needed, exactly when they needed it most. As darkness fell, they walked back toward the lights of the center, hand in hand, ready for whatever came next in their story.